There are kind, thoughtful people who still hurt others badly. You know some. You might be one on a rough day. Here's the twist. Their values stay the same. The situation shifts. So who are we talking about here? Every day, you and me. Think of nurses, teachers, neighbors, teammates you trust. Recognize them.
Parable ranges from silent harm to open cruelty. Workplace, street, home.
No capes. No villains. Just humans under pressure and context. Psychologists mapped this pattern for decades with real experiments and field data. The headline study lands in 1963. A university lab tested obedience. Volunteers believed they shocked a stranger. The lab felt official. 65% pressed the final 450-volt switch. Journal of Abnormal and Social Psychology, 1963. Wild, right? Authority plus setting overruled personal kindness for many. A modern check came later. Key parts were replicated in 2009. About 70% went past 150 volts. American Psychologist, 2009. Same species, different year. Obedience still traveled farther than expected. Before the comment section explodes, no, participants were not monsters. They looked stressed, conflicted, sweating, but still complied under cues. That leads to a bigger frame. Situations steer attention and choice.
Enter crowded sidewalks and stalled help. The bystander effect, 1968.
Bibb Latané and John Darley ran staged emergencies in New York. When alone, most helped quickly. In groups, helping dropped sharply.
In one seizure scenario, group presence cut action to about 1/3. Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, 1968.
Not apathy. Diffusion of responsibility muddied the inner compass.
Hurry adds another shove. Princeton Seminary, 1973. Darley and Batson.
Students primed with the Good Samaritan story still walked by. Under time pressure, helping cratered. Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, 1973. Here's the thing. A ticking clock can silence empathy fast. So far, authority, crowds, and clocks pull strong behavioral levers. But here's where it gets messy. The street itself whispers norms.
Groningen, Netherlands, field experiments tested disorder signals, 2008.
Keizer, Lindenberg, and Steg watched rule-breaking ripple through neighborhoods. When a no graffitiing sign had fresh tags, littering almost doubled. One setup showed 33% littering without graffiti, 69% with it. Science, 2008.
A messy wall granted permission. People read the room, then act.
Context flips the slider without announcing itself. You've probably noticed that. Now zoom inside the mind. Moral disengagement changes the story we tell. Albert Bandura cataloged the tricks in 1999. Euphemisms. Shifting blame.
Just following orders. Everyone does this. No one gets hurt.
These narratives ease guilt, then harsher choices sneak through the gate.
Personality and Social Psychology Review, 1999, laid out those mechanisms clearly.
Another twist: doing something virtuous can open a trapdoor later. Ever felt licensed to slack after one bright act? Monin and Dale Miller called it moral credentials in 2001. People who signaled egalitarian views later showed more bias in choices.
Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, 2001, documented that rebound effect.
Here's where it gets interesting. Good deeds can backfire through self-permission. The group you belong to also tilts the scale of cheating. Francesca Gino, Shahar Ayal, and Dan Ariely tested that in 2009.
When an in-group member modeled cheating, participants cheated more.
An out-group cheater nudged them to cheat less. Psychological Science, 2009.
Think about that. Morality spreads, and immorality spreads through identity cues. Fair question. Are we doomed to follow whatever the room suggests? No. Small frictions and clear cues restore agency in tight spots.
I refuse.
Milgram found refusal too. Many participants resisted earlier, argued, stalled. Bystanders help more when one person steps first and breaks silence. Hurry eases when schedules breathe. People help once they can stop. Disorder shrinks when one visible norm is kept tidy and enforced. You remember when someone spoke up? Then others joined without hesitation. Or when a colleague labeled the harm directly and pressure cracked. Language matters. This targets real people, beats policy violation in impact.
Specific harm cuts through moral fog created by abstractions and jargon.
Pre-commitments work too. Write your rule before the heat arrives. I do not fudge numbers. I intervene if someone looks scared. Identity statements anchor action when authority or crowds push hard. Here's where it gets weird. Evil rarely feels evil from the inside. The story feels necessary, urgent, or deserved. That is the trap. Yet patterns repeat across labs, streets, and offices across decades. The observation lands simple. Good people bend under pressure, then recover.